Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to pick up right where we left off. So we just got done reviewing some terms from our figurative language lesson, and we didn't have enough time to actually go over the quiz or the self-assessment. So what I want you to do is just flip to your next page of your notes and number it 1 through 25. The numbers are kind of mixed up, so just do 1 to 25. It may be a little more, a little less. So all you're going to have to do is you're going to look at the example on the screen and you're going to be able to flip back to your notes. So rest assured, it's not a true quiz, more of a self-assessment to see where you are. So you can flip back to your notes that we just took, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability what you think that example is, what type of figurative language you think that we're looking at. So, of course, this is the time for you guys to hold yourselves accountable. We want to see where you are with your skills. So make sure that you're using your notes, that's fine, but make sure that you're putting an answer down. So at the end, we'll come back to this and see truly what your level or your knowledge or your comfortableness with figurative language is. So just be honest with yourselves, okay? All right, so you should have the page numbered by now in your notes. I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, number 1, he drew a line as straight as an arrow. He drew a line as straight as an arrow. So I'll read it a couple times, and by then you should be able to move on to the next one. If not, you can always pause the video. Number 3, again, yes, I realized we skipped number 2, so just number 3. Can I see you for a second? Can I see you for a second? Number 4, the sun was beating down on me. The sun was beating down on me. Number 5, a flag wags like a fish hook there in the sky. A flag wags like a fish hook there in the sky. Number 6, I'd rather take baths with a man-eating shark or wrestle a lion alone in the dark, eat spinach and liver, pet 10 porcupines, than tackle the homework my teacher assigns. I'd rather do a lot of undesirable things than I would do the homework that my teacher assigns. Number 7, ravenous and savage from its long polar journey. The north wind is searching for food. Again, ravenous and savage from its long polar journey. The north wind is searching for food. Number 8, dinner is on the house. Dinner is on the house. Number 9, this one's tricky. You really got to think about this one. Think about if you've ever said this or if you've ever heard someone and if they're speaking literally or not. So, can I have one of your chips? Can I have one of your chips? Remember, go back to your notes if you're stuck. If you know these right off the bat, awesome, you're doing great. If not, turn back to your notes. There's no shame in that. Number 11, the clouds smiled down at me. The clouds smiled down at me. Number 12, splat. Got a mosquito. Splat. Number 13, she is as sweet as candy. She is as sweet as candy. This was literally from your notes, so don't get this one wrong. Look in your notes. 14, I could sleep forever. I could sleep forever. Number 15, he drove his expensive car into a tree and found out how the Mercedes bends. Notice the spelling. Mercedes Benz. Look at that. He drove his expensive car into a tree and found out how the Mercedes bends. Pay attention. Next. I used to have a fear of hurdles, but I got over it. I used to have a fear of hurdles, but I got over it. Number 17. The wheat field was a sea of gold. The wheat field was a sea of gold. Number 18. The streets called to him. The streets called to him. Pop. Pop. Number 20. This is a little bit old school. You may not recognize this, or may not have even, you may not recall even someone saying this. It's a little antiquated, but the phrase is, she was dressed to the nines. She was dressed to the nines. Number 22, old news. Number 22, old news. Number 23, for all you Beliebers out there, this old school Justin Bieber picture. Your face is killing me. Your face is killing me. Think about that. All right, number 24, she was as white as a ghost. She was as white as a ghost. Lastly, number 25, she has a skeleton in her closet. She has a skeleton in her closet. Some people have many, many skeletons in their closet. Okay, so take a minute, go back, make sure you have an answer for each of these. If you don't, pause the video here and go back and make sure that each of them has an answer. Again, you can use your notes, so there's no reason why you can't go back and make sure that you have something written down. If you're ready to move on, go ahead and resume this video and I will go over the answers with you. If not, take a minute to pause. Remember, hold yourself accountable, be honest with yourself. All right, so number 1, this is a simile. There's a comparison between a line and an arrow using the words as. Therefore, it is a simile. Number 3, again, I know we skipped number 2, so we were just going based off what these say. So this is number 3. Can I see you for a second, or can I talk to you for a minute? When someone says this, they're not typically being literal. We don't typically put a time limit on how long we need to see someone or talk to someone because we don't know. We don't know how long it's going to be. So if I say, can I see you for a second or a minute, it's most likely not literal at all. And typically we go well over this, which is what makes it an understatement. So we're underestimating how long we'll be seeing someone or talking to someone. So number 3, understatement. Okay. All right, number 4, the sun was beating down on me. This one's one of those easier ones. So the sun can't beat you. So this is personification. It's giving the sun something not alive, human-like characteristics. What it really just means is that the sun was brutal. It was really hot. It was shining down and making you sweat or burning your skin, right? It just means the sun was really powerful. Okay. All right. Number 5. So this one says a flag wags like a fish hook there in the sky. So you're making a comparison between, you have a flag and then you have a fish hook, and we're using the word like. So remember, just seeing the word like doesn't necessarily mean simile, but we do have a comparison here between two things. So number 5 is a simile. All right, this person's basically saying, I'd rather do all these things than do my homework. So it's unlikely that someone's going to want to go swimming with a shark or wrestle a lion in the dark or pet porcupines. So What they're doing is they're exaggerating. They're saying how much they really don't want to do their homework. So number 6 is a hyperbole. That's just an extreme exaggeration. All right, number 7. So this is about the wind searching for food. Wind obviously is not a hunter scavenging for food, so this is personification because the wind is not alive and therefore cannot search for food. Number 8, this is, if you ever hear this, know that it's a good thing. So when somebody tells you dinner is on the house, it doesn't mean that they want you to go up on the roof and eat. It means that it's free. Dinner is free and you will not be charged for it. Sometimes you hear this maybe if something went wrong or maybe they owed you something, who knows. The point is, if you're hearing this, it just means that, you know, the chef or maybe a dinner host would be paying for your meal or covering your meal. So again, don't think literally. It's just a phrase that we use. Because it is a phrase, we're going to call this an idiom, okay? So again, this one, idioms we talked about can start to get into the tricky nuances of the English language. So if you may have never seen this before, and so that's okay. It's just a cultural phrase that we use, and that's what makes it an idiom. Okay, so number 8 is an idiom. All right, so let's move on. Number 9, this one is the one that I said, if you've ever said this before or had someone say this, if somebody asks for one of your chips, they are most likely not wanting just one chip. Very few of us can just eat one chip. So this is an understatement. They probably just want you to share their chips and not just one. All right, number 11, the clouds smiled down on me. Guys, you know this. This is easy. Clouds aren't alive, right? So they can't smile. And so for that reason, number 11 is personification. Guys, again, if you need any time to think on this, just go ahead and pause the video. Go back if you need to. Number 12. Splat, it's the sound it makes. It's an attempt for us to spell out the sound of what something sounds like if we had to translate that into word form. So splat is onomatopoeia. Anything that's a noise, onomatopoeia. Number 13, this was literally from your notes. So she is as sweet as candy. This is comparing a girl to being like candy because they're both sweet. And so this is a simile because we're using the word as. Number 14, I could sleep forever. So if I'm very tired, I might say something like this. I'm not literally going to fall asleep forever and never wake up again, but I'm exaggerating, extremely exaggerating. So this is hyperbole. Number 14, hyperbole. Number 15, this is one of those dad jokes, right? So he drove his expensive car into a tree and found out how the Mercedes Benz. So the real car is called a Mercedes Benz, right? But we're saying Mercedes Benz because it hit a tree. So, this is a pun. Number 15 is a pun, P-U-N. 16, I used to have a fear of hurdles, but I got over it. Again, it's one of those zingers, right? So this is kind of funny. It's a play on words because hurdles are meant to go over. So what they're saying is, I used to fear it, but I got over it. So again, dad joke, number 16, pun, P-U-N. All right, number 17, the Wheatfield was a sea of gold. This is a comparison between a field and a sea of gold, which doesn't exactly exist, but what they're talking about is this color here. So they're comparing it. It's a metaphor. They're just saying that the field is this sea of gold, just gold color, this wheat. Okay, so 17 is a metaphor. Number 18, the streets called to him. Again, this was from your examples. So this one is personification. The streets cannot call you. 19, pop. It's the sound, and that's onomatopoeia. So 19, onomatopoeia. Number 20, she was dressed to the nines. So this one is an old school saying, and again, it's just a cultural phrase that we use. So this is an idiom. Number 20, idiom. 22, old news, oxymoron. Something is new, something is old. Those are opposite. You put them together and you call something old news. It's an oxymoron. Your face is killing me. Number 23. Again, this is just an idiom. It's something we say. We don't mean it. We're not really dying when we see your face. So number 23, idiom. Number 24, she was as white as a ghost. We all know this is a simile comparison using the words as. Odds are she was terrified. Something really scared her. And lastly, she has a skeleton in her closet. This is an idiom. It's a phrase we use when somebody has a secret to hide. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next time.